the Dolphins already had shown during that season they could not
early in the year.
They lost against Philly. They lost against Kansas City.
Thank you. They lost against Kansas City because Tyreek handed them 14 points.
Oh,
that's why they lost against Kansas City. But
how many Tua handed them?
Put that loss on Tua.
I'm gonna take you to task here, okay? Because you know why? Because if you recall, this was a game where Omar, I apologize. I love you, but I have to do this to you. Okay, I gotta make you accountable for your comments because you said on the All Dolphins podcast at the time. Remember that game? The Dolphins had a chance to drive for the game-tying touchdown. They didn't deliver, and you after the game, you were putting it all on Tua. He's the quarterback. He's got to get it done. And I was like, wait a second. There were some issues with Cedric Wilson Jr. at the end of that drive. You were the one that was ready to put it all on Tua, and I was not. And that game wasn't all on Tua. But my point remains, the Dolphins that year, whenever they were playing a top-notch team, the Eagles, the Chiefs, and then
Dallas. Nobody wants to count them. But
6 field goals, Omar. 6 field goals
against Dallas, and it was
they won. Did they win?
6 field goals. Come on.
Did they win or not? And it was a fourth quarter victory. Y'all want to take it away?
Thank you, Jason Sanders. Thank you. Okay.
Got to get in field goal range, don't you?
You see how all these conditions?
Yeah,
it's like everything's on discount when it comes to.
No. Let's now the Dallas game. We got to stop this mess. We're gonna sit here and act like the defense didn't absolutely ball out. Do you remember right before halftime, right at the goal line, stuffed them? Do you remember when they forced a fumble at the goal line on Dallas? They made so many stops, big stops, to where points should have been scored by Dallas.
Games like Arizona, where Tua's handed them victories, they wilt in the fourth quarter. But you never count those.
I do. That's the only one I count is Arizona and in the Buffalo game. There was one Buffalo game. Those are the only two I count. Those are the only two I count with Tua.
It's like convenient memories when it comes to Tua. See, you guys speak up, host. I feel like
I don't yell over people. I wait for a lull, and then I jump in.
Wait a while, dog.
I feel like I'm all alone being tag team here.
There's multiple instances. 2022 in Buffalo in the snow. We lost that game off of a PI, and then they kicked the field goal to win the game. Tua had a good game.
Hold on. Here's what about that game. Tua played well. Josh Allen was the best quarterback on the field.
Yeah.
If you recall,
But he played well. He played well.
He got you the lead with the game. Here's my thing. If Tua leaves the field with the lead, I'm not putting that on Tua.
It depends on the.
Not in 2022, he did. Not on top of that, the Dolphins had the ball around midfield with like 6 minutes left and had to punt. And then Josh Allen in a 29-29 game drove them down the field, including converting a 2nd and 17 after Zach Sealer sacked them. The loss is not on Tua and the least, and Tua played well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that at certain times, this was a game where, again, they don't have the best quarterback on the field.
And this is why, to Omar's point, to argue it, basically, I always say this. It doesn't matter if we have a great team in this regard. Because when you go to the playoffs, both teams might have a great run game. Both teams might have a good defense. Both teams might have a good O-line. The further you get, both teams have. And you know what it's going to end up coming down to?
Execution. Turnover.
Who quarterback shows up the most? Whose quarterback shows up the most? That's typically what it comes down to. I mean, look at how many times Josh Allen has gone to war and the team around him wasn't up to par and they were making mistakes, but he still put them on his back. Absolutely. That's what it comes down to sometimes.
Hold on. Why are we comparing Tua to Josh Allen? Only because he's in the division? Josh Allen, based on what he's done in the first 7-8 years of his career, he's a Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer. Am I wrong?
No.
Tua's not there.
No.
Like, is the expectation for Tua to become a first ballot Hall of Famer? My theory is Tua Matt Ryan-esque? Can he deliver good enough performances to get you into the playoffs and give you a chance and get a team to the Super Bowl if the moon and the stars align? Yeah. I think that he is.
I agree.
I don't.
I agree.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't keep looking or you shouldn't be taking opportunity or you shouldn't explore.
But they won't.
Omar,
But they
that's what I
don't.
said all along. You should not close the door, and this is what the Dolphins kind of did when they gave him the extension instead of having play on the fifth-year option. They basically closed the door for 3 years, last year and the next 2 years, because it's not impossible they could do what Denver did last year with Russell Wilson and just swallow that really, really big pill of.
I don't rule it out that this 2026 could be his last season. I mean, 2025 could be his last season.
He's got
Who's last season?
next year. You think the Dolphins?
Oh, I tried to tell you.
I don't rule it out because we're gonna have a regime change. You don't have. Excuse me.
You don't think they could
If
trade him
things
next
go
year?
wrong, we're going to have a regime change, and then you have no idea what's going to happen.
Mm.
But I will say this. Of everything that's going on with this team and this organization, Tua is not the reason that they're not going to win 10 games.
I agree.
I'll push back on that a little bit because he will be if he's not on the field. That's the only pushback I have.
Yeah.
That's kind of given. Yeah.
Because I think if Tua plays 17 games, I think they have a winning record.
We
But
played the NFC North this year. We
Dude,
played the NFC North
with
this
the
year.
SOS,
the
and we
NFC
stop
South.
with looking in the future, because I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, we had the hardest schedule going into the season, and then Tua, played the full season. He had a great season, and then at the end of the season, everyone was like, "We had the easiest schedule in the NFL. It don't matter what he did."
And still couldn't beat a good team, Doug. Still couldn't beat a good team.
Who he couldn't, or we couldn't.
But however you want to slice it, both ways.
Exactly.
He
But
and his team still couldn't beat a good team.
the
And that's
point
the problem.
is, let's see. But he still had a winning record, 11-6. Did he not? And that's my point. I got to ask the question, and I'm saying if Tua plays 17 games, we have a winning record.
And that's the point. Then when you get in the playoffs and both teams have the same thing, it comes down to which quarterback plays better football. And Omar just said nobody could have played in that weather. The Chiefs did.
Dude, but here's the thing. There's a big difference between what the Chiefs went into the playoffs with and what the Dolphins crawled into the playoffs.
Talking about the Chiefs who had two of the worst tackles in the NFL that year, and they replaced both of them the very next year.
They had one starting offensive lineman playing that for the Miami Dolphins
with two bad tackles, Omar.
So
that they replaced.
Yeah, they got a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, first ballot Hall of Fame tight end, first ballot Hall of Fame defensive tackle.
And that's why we can't compete. We don't have those things. We don't have those things.
Yeah, how many Hall of Famers the Eagles got? Do you need those things? No.
I mean, a lot of them guys on their way to the trajectory.
Saquon, that's it.
Man, come on, man. Jalen Hurts about 4 more he in there.
Who?
Lane Johnson, maybe.
Are we gonna sit here and act like Jalen Hurts don't show up in the big moment for his team?
Not always.
Woof, Doug.
When doesn't he?
That
Do you not remember the collapse that they had? I think it was in 2023 where they barely made the playoffs and then lost in the first round.
That was the whole season, but even when they lost the Super Bowl, that dude was balling.
Yes.
But it does help that he has an all-Madden team around him, does it not?
Absolutely.
Like, you have the best offensive line, the best defense, the best running back, one of the best receiving tandems.
Best defensive coordinator.
Yeah, but once again, when you go up against a team that also has all of that.
But here's the thing, we never have that to go up against the teams that have all that.
That's not true. How much do you want to give to her? Like,
when did Tua have the best of everything?
A guy gets hurt, it happens.
When did Tua have the best of everything?
Nobody has the best of everything.